Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video I'd like to show you a couple of books, specials actually, a collection of popular horror comics from the 1950s. There's just four here guys I'd like to show you. Now these are actually the special editions of the old EC horror comics of the 1950s, Tales from the Crypt and Ball Supplier. They started publishing them in special editions. In case you're wondering what EC means, it means entertainment comics. Now these were very popular in the 1950s, but unfortunately they got banned because the content was deemed too explicit, for audiences. So they were banned. Example of early woke methinks. So I've got four titles here guys I'd just like to show you. I've got two Tales from the Crypt and I've got two Vaults of Horror. Really made up to get this. I bought them online actually. They're quite cheap actually. They're only around about the 13-14.99 mark. Published by Dark Horse Books. Alright then, so the first one I'd like to show you is Tales from the Crypt Volume 1. So there you go guys, lovely cover. It's the actual cover of the actual comic books that were published in the 1950s, and you've got the Crypt, the Crypt Keeper, and the Keeper of the Vaults of Horror, and the Old Witch. So they're the three main, characters who tell each story. They're sort of like bookend each story, just like the Amicus Horror movies. A lot of these stories were made into movies, like in the Amicus, the Amicus portmanteau movie. So this is the first one, and I'll just show you the issues that are contained in this guy. So there you go, fantastic. Yeah, you've got the Crypt of Terror, and Tales from the Crypt, three of each there guys, lovely. So there you go, and I'll just show you the inside. I haven't read them yet guys, so but when I saw them I thought to myself, I just got to get them. There's the Crypt Keeper. Fantastic artwork, really consummate artists work on these comic books, and fantastic to finally have them in this form. There you go, actual covers again, as I say guys, the actual covers that were published in the 1950s and packed with stories. Yeah, fantastic. It's even got the actual adverts in as well from the 1950s that were actually featured in those comics. So I've wanted these for some time actually, but very, very hard to get, and the ones that were available, they were all in hardback. But when I saw they started publishing them, in paperback format at reasonable prices, I thought to myself, I'll treat myself, and especially with my birthday coming up as well. There you go guys, there's another cover issue of Tales from the Crypt. Fantastic. If you're a horror fan and you love the EC comics, I'd highly recommend you get these. They're just fantastic. Yeah. Very reminiscent of the DC Witching Hour and the House of Mystery horror comics. So there you go, Crypt of Terror. So there you go guys. Yeah, so that's this is volume 1, and this contains the Crypt of Terror issues 17 to 19 and Tales from the Crypt issues 20 to 22. So there you go guys. Yeah, featuring such fantastic artists as Johnny Craig, Al Feldstein, George Russo, and Graham Ingalls. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, as any fan of comics knows, EC Comics still represent the best of Golden Age writing and artwork. Now Dark Horse Books is proud to bring you the very first issues of EC's Tales from the Crypt. Fantastic. Yeah, so there you go guys, that's volume 1 of the EC archives of Tales from the Crypt. Absolutely fantastic. Next up is volume 2 of Tales from the Crypt. Again, there's the three main characters there who tell the stories guys at the side, and you've got the actual covers of the actual comic books of that particular era, and they are guys, there's all the issues that's inside. Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely love Tales from the Crypt, and these actual comic books now in single form, they're going for astronomical prices and that, because they're so rare, and that's why it was great, and as I've seen this publisher Dark Horse, reprinting them in these gorgeous specials. So and I'm really made up with these, I really am. Lovely artwork. Always been a huge fan of you know, the horror anthology movies, and as I say, when I found out that they were from the actual stories from the 1950s, I thought to myself, I've got to get them, you know. So fantastic, yeah. Some great stories in these. So I'm looking forward to you know, getting stuck into these guys. Really am, and many of which I've never read. You know, in many of which they've never been in the Amicus horror movies. You know, so there you go. Plenty of material here, guys, for many more. If Amicus was still going, plenty of material, you know, is still to be filmed, you know. Fantastic horror stories, and they always had like a twist to them as well. And if there was a villain, they always got to come up and at the end. And these are the main comics, guys, the main horror comics, Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt. There you go. There's a great story there called well, great looking story there called Seance. Looking forward to reading that. So there you go, guys. That's volume 2 of Tales from the Crypt, the EC Archives. Right, okay, moving on to the Vault of Horror. The Vault of Horror twosome now. So I've got volume 1 of the Vault of Horror, again, EC Archives, with a foreword by R.L. Stine. There you go. Fantastic cover, guys, yeah. And these are the issues that are contained inside. There you go. The actual covers of the actual comics of that period. It's great the way they've done these, you know. It's yeah, they've done a fantastic job, you know, reproducing these comics and these classic comics from the 1950s. Really made up with them. Really stand out, you know, the artwork. There's some more there, guys. The Haunts of Fear and Frontline Combat. Another horror comic they did, The Haunts of Fear. Oh, these are an absolute must, you know, for any fan of EC Comics and Amicus Portmanteau movies, yeah. That looks a good one, The Grave Wager. Yeah, I hope you do the same thing with the DC Witching Hour comics, because I was a huge fan of those. You know, I used to buy them a lot when I was younger. Pretty much similar thing to Tales from the Crypt. You get like only in this instance with the Witching Hour, you get 3 witches, 2 ugly witches, and 1 you know gorgeous witch, and they'd each tell a horror story. And as I say, like Tales from the Crypt, they'd have a twist at the end. Yeah, so yeah, beautifully coloured comics they really are. So there you go, guys. That is the Vault of Horror, Volume 1, and this contains issues 12 to 17. And there you go, guys. There they are again. Yeah. And last but by no means least, I've got Vault of Horror, Volume 2, guys, with a foreword by John Landis. Again, featuring the Crypt Keeper and the Old Witch, the Vault Keeper, the side there, guys. Fantastic covers there. And again, these are the issues, guys, that's featured inside this, you know, compendium. Fantastic. Yeah. So I'll just show you inside, guys, and then I'll conclude the video. Go. I believe they're going to be bringing out more later on in the year, so I'll definitely be getting them. The Vault of Horror. Love the movie The Vault of Horror as well, where they all go down on the lift and they sort of like end up in this room in the basement, and they start telling horror stories to pass the time away, or nightmares really, yeah. And of course, Tales from the Crypt, made in 1972. You've got Ralph Richardson, haven't you, as the Crypt Keeper. All iconic movies, you know, and I wish Second Sight or a similar company would pick up Vaults of Horror and Tales from the Crypt and give them a really good, you know, edition like they did with the House that Dripped Blood and Asylum. Yeah, well, who knows? Fingers crossed, it might just happen. Child's Play. No, I don't think it's any bearing on Chucky. But I'm really made up with these guys. I really am. So, Grandma's Ghost. Some great looking stories in these. I'm really really looking forward to getting my teeth into. So there you go, guys. That is the Vault of Horror Volume 2, the EC Archives, and once again, there are all the issues, guys, that's contained in this mammoth compendium. So there you go. So as I say, yeah, I'm really made up with these, yeah. So just once again, just show you once again, Tales from the Crypt, Volume 1. Tales from the Crypt, Volume 2. The Vault of Horror, Volume 1. And The Vault of Horror, Volume 2. So there you go. And I just thought I'd end the video, guys, with showing you this book. I have actually spoke about it before and shown you, but I just want to show you it again, just in case you know, you missed me last video. This is the Ultimate Bible of Tales from the Crypt. It's the official archives. It includes the complete history of EC Comics and the hit television series. So there you go. The absolute Bible, mine of information for all Tales from the Crypt fans. There's the puppet there from the Tales from the Crypt series, yeah. And tells you all about the book and that, you know. I'll just show you inside, guys, yeah. So I was lucky to get this actually at a reasonable price, because for ages I couldn't pick up, I couldn't find an edition that was, you know, reasonably priced. So I was really made up, you know, to finally come across, you know, as I say, a reasonably priced edition. But this tells you everything right from EC beginnings. And there's William Gaines there, guys, man behind the EC Comics. But yeah, fantastic, yeah. If you love Tales from the Crypt, if you can manage to get there's some photos, guys, of the comics, the Vaults of Horror, Crypt of Terror. Highly recommend that you get this book. Absolutely fantastic. And one of my favourite aspects of this book is it's got the cover of every single Tales from the Crypt comic that was ever published in Haunts of Fear and the Vaults of Horror. They're all in here, guys, so there you go. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so as I say, if you love EC Comics and you love the Amicus films, you know, this would be the ideal purchase for you if you're lucky enough to get a reasonably priced edition. So yeah, and it's got photographs of the it covers every single episode of the Tales from the Crypt series, and also the movies as well, like Bordello of Blood, you know, fantastic, and Demon Nice. I do prefer Bordello of Blood. But there's Bill Gaines, guys. And there's the synopsis of the episodes of the TV series, guys. Yeah, fantastic, yeah. Okay then, guys, there you go. So that concludes my video showing my Vaults of Horror and Tales from the Crypt, you know, special editions, yeah. Have you got any of these editions? What do you think of them? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you got a favourite Amicus horror movie? Let me know. Again, you know, I'd be very interested to hear, you know, hear your opinions and that, yeah. But I'm really made up with these guys. Absolutely beautiful books. They really are. And as I say, if you love the EC Comics, highly recommend that you get these. They're only £13 on Amazon, you know. So great purchases and that, yeah. I just couldn't resist picking them up. And as I say, especially with my birthday coming up this week, yeah. So I thought I'd treat myself, yeah. Okay then, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, the usual, please feel free to share, subscribe, comment, and all going well, I'll be back again very, very soon with another video. Take care. Have a nice weekend. Bye for now.